Welcome to the Introduction to Sourcify. At the end of this video, you will have a complete understanding of how to sourcify any U asset from start to finish, the settings that drive sourcification, and its output results. In this example, we are going to use a basic BP enemy actor that has been created ahead of time. This enemy actor is parented to the aActor class. In its event graph, it listens to a single event, actor begin overlap, and when it overlaps with another actor, it calls its own attack function. The attack function takes in the target, an amount of damage to apply, and the type of damage to apply. The BP enemy stores that information in a weapon struct called sEnemyWeapon. That struct contains 4 elements: an integer health, an integer attack damage amount, an damage types variable, and an damage types resists array, which represents the damage types that the weapon is not affected by. The enum that defines those damage types is damage types, which has entries for physical, magical, dark, and light, each with a full enum description and a tooltip for each type. When BP enemy calls the attack function, the function performs some basic logic using that information. Now that the example setup is clear, the next step is to sourcify it. To bring up the Sourcify graph, right-click BP enemy or any asset you want to sourcify, and select Sourcify graph from the pop-up menu. The first time you use Sourcify, a pop-up appears that says no default code export path has been set. While this step is optional, it is recommended so that every time you bring up the Sourcify graph in the future, you are guaranteed to have a safe, module-based location where your code can be output. Click Yes, then set the project's root source module as the default export path. Once that is set, the Sourcify graph opens. The Sourcify graph is broken into 3 parts. The top section is the toolbar and address location, the central section is the graph itself, and to the right is the asset referencers list. Starting from the top in the toolbar, there is a refresh button. If you have moved the graph around while inspecting it, clicking refresh will recenter and rebuild the graph from its data. The address bar shows you the content browser path of the currently selected node. There is also the Sourcify button itself, which turns green when every node in the graph has valid sourcification settings. Finally, there is a settings wheel that opens the Sourcify settings. This is equivalent to going to Edit, Project Settings, Sourcify, under the Plugins section. Looking at the central graph, you see all the types that refer to each other. BP enemy contains an enemy weapon variable of type sEnemyWeapon. sEnemyWeapon contains an enumerator of type damage types. Although the layout may look similar to the reference viewer or to a function graph, this view does not represent function calls or asset references. It is a type relationship graph. This is critical to understand. If you want to sourcify BP enemy, you must also sourcify these other 2 types, or the native code will not know about them. Clicking on a node in the graph allows you to edit 3 things for that node: the directory where the emitted native parent class or replacement type will be placed, the file name to use, and the C++ type name to generate. You will notice that BP underscore has been automatically removed from the type name for BP enemy. S underscore has been removed from sEnemyWeapon, and E underscore has been removed from damage types. This is because Sourcify ships with a default list of prefixes that it removes and ignores at sourcification time. You can add to or remove from this prefix list in the settings. The default setup here looks reasonable, but the output directory is still the project root source directory, which may not be ideal. You can change the output directory per node, but you can also drag select or control select multiple nodes to change them as a group. With all nodes selected, click the ellipsis next to the directory field and choose the enemy folder that has been created ahead of time. All emitted code for these types will now go into that enemy folder. At the bottom of the Sourcify graph, there may be a New Version Available button. This button appears in green if there is a newer version of Sourcify available than the one currently installed. Clicking it opens the CodeMongoose download page where you can obtain the latest version of Sourcify. If you are already on the latest version, this area simply shows gray text that reads, "You're up to date." Next, look at the asset referencers list on the right. This list shows all assets that reference the types present in the Sourcify graph. Although these assets will not themselves be converted to code, their blueprints will be updated to use the new native types created when the graph nodes are sourcified. Hovering over an asset's icon shows its exact asset name and type. Hovering over the row highlights the corresponding node or nodes in the Sourcify graph, making the relationship clear. For example, a BP enemy instance in a level refers to the BP enemy class. Clicking the folder icon next to an entry jumps to that asset's location in the content browser, in this case, the first-person map that contains the instance. The parenthetical note next to each referencer also shows its source control status. Blank, meaning not under source control, available for checkout, checked out by you, or checked out by another username. There is an Include Graph Assets checkbox that, when enabled, adds any sourcified graph assets that also reference these types to the list. This is useful when you want a very clear, comprehensive picture of all assets involved. Once everything looks correct, click the Sourcify button. Sourcify uses its source control integration to check out every asset that needs to be edited. After you confirm the checkout, Sourcify generates the native code, updates all blueprint references, and updates any internal references in the affected blueprints, such as BP enemy. When it is done, it presents the sourcification results window. The results screen shows a title, such as Sourcification Succeeded, Sourcification Failed, or Sourcification Succeeded with warnings. In some cases, blueprint references might not be fully fixed up, or the code may not perfectly match the newly created native child class. In those situations, the results panel provides detailed information and you can undo the entire process up to this point. Below the title are 3 major sections, plus a 4th that may appear depending on the process. The first section lists blueprints that were fully sourcified, meaning the blueprint classes have been reparented to new native classes generated for them. For example, BP enemy is shown as reparented to A enemy, and you can click the folder icon to locate the asset. The second section is similar to the referencers list in the Sourcify graph. These assets contain references to the newly sourcified types. BP enemy and S enemy weapon appear here because BP enemy contains an S enemy weapon variable, and S enemy weapon contains multiple E damage types variables. Their blueprint classes have now been updated to reference the new native types. The third section lists assets that were fully sourcified and can now be safely deleted. This list consists only of structs, enums, or blueprint interfaces. Once these assets are converted to their C++ or native counterparts, the original blueprint assets are no longer needed and should not be referenced anywhere. In this example, S enemy weapon is replaced by F enemy weapon, and E damage types is replaced by a native E damage types enum. Finally, there is an option to copy the results summary to the clipboard, which is useful for taking notes about complex sourcification runs. Before looking at the generated native code, it is helpful to review what changed in the BP enemy class. BP enemy's parent is now A enemy instead of A actor. Also, the blueprint no longer has a regular function called attack. Instead, its implementation has been moved to a blueprint implementable event. In the event graph, actor begin overlap has been updated so that its types now use the C++ replacements instead of the original blueprint types. For example, the damage types pin now uses E damage types instead of the user-defined enum E damage types, and the weapon variable now uses F enemy weapon instead of S enemy weapon. The attack function is still being called in blueprint, but it now resolves to the implementation in the native parent A enemy. Next, open the generated C++ code in the enemy folder, and start with the damage types. The E damage types enum, formerly E _ damage types, has all of its description metadata, display names, and tooltips converted over from the blueprint. You can now safely delete the original blueprint enum asset. The enemy weapon struct has been generated as F enemy weapon, replacing S enemy weapon. Its tooltips and default values, such as default health and default damage amounts, have been preserved. The array of damage resists is initialized to match the original blueprint default, which was empty. The most interesting piece is the native parent class for the enemy. BP _ enemy is now a child of A enemy. The attack function has been removed from the blueprint class and promoted into the A enemy native class. All of the uProperty values and metadata, including tooltips and default values, have been moved into the native parent as well. A sourcified meta tag is added to the class, which Sourcify uses to detect that a blueprint and its class have been sourcified before. This enables resourcification, which is a more advanced topic covered in a separate video. You can change this meta tag value and keep a history of previous ones if desired in the Sourcify settings. As you can see, a protected blueprint implementable event is also generated. In the C++ source file for A enemy, all components are properly initialized, their hierarchy is preserved, and the attack function lives there. All calling blueprints still call attack as they did before. They are not aware that the function has moved into the native parent. The reason for the blueprint implementable event is to preserve behavior during the transition. The native attack function calls back into the original blueprint implementation via that implementable event so that the project behaves identically before and after sourcification. Once you have re-implemented or replaced this logic directly in native code, you can remove the call to the blueprint implementable event, making the behavior fully controlled by the native parent. Sourcify is not opinionated and does not mandate how you structure your refactor or re-architecture. Its goal is to provide a clean scaffolding and a safe foothold into native code, while ensuring references are updated and behavior remains consistent during that transition. And just to recap, back in the BP enemy blueprint, you can now see that it has the correct parent relationship with aEnemy. All blueprint callers still invoke the attack function, unaware that it now resides in the native class, and that this native function calls back into attack_deprecated to preserve behavior. S enemy weapon, E damage types, and any other structs or enums that were sourcified can now be fully deleted from the blueprint side once you are satisfied that everything is working. That concludes the introduction to Sourcify. Keep an eye out for more videos on the Sourcify YouTube channel where we'll cover the Sourcify settings, go deeper on sourcifying functions, delegates, events, as well as replicated properties, and we'll also show advanced topics like resourcification and quick actor subclassing, plus a whole lot more.